Hello and welcome to episode 52 of the Footy with Fletch podcast. In this episode, I'm joined by Hawthorn AFLW superstar Jas Fleming. She was selected by the Hawks with pick 2 in the 2022 AFLW draft and has played 19 AFLW games. Hello, Jas. Thanks for joining me. How are you?
Hey Fletch, thanks for having me on your podcast. I'm pretty good at the moment. How are you?
I'm going well, thank you. And to get into it, firstly, you played a number of different sports growing up. Tell me a little bit about what sports you did play growing up.
Yeah, so the first sport I did play was footy. So I started Auskick when I was 3. But I guess through my junior years, I really fell in love with cricket. And that was probably the other sport alongside footy that I played for the majority of my junior life. And I guess I dabbled in basketball at the rep level. Tried netball, wasn't too good at it, but loved it socially. But yeah, and even athletics and gymnastics, I dabbled in them too. So I think I'm pretty lucky that my parents signed me up for a lot of sports, and I think it's probably held me in good stead.
Do you think, did your parents ever try and sway you to either play cricket or netball, or did they sort of support you with whatever sport you chose to play?
They definitely supported me on what probably I wanted to do. I guess with netball, it was definitely a social sport for me. Mum was my coach, and I think she learnt very early on that I wasn't a netballer. But that was nice to have that connection with her, being coached by her. But yeah, even with dad, I think there was no pressure to pick cricket or play cricket. I really played it because I loved it. And then I guess in the end of picking footy, it really was my choice, and they really allowed me to make it by myself. They obviously supported me, but yeah, I kind of got to make it, which was nice.
And you played cricket right up until about 6 months before the draft. How hard was that choice to, I guess, sort of make to choose footy over cricket?
It was a really hard one, and I think majority of my junior life, I really was dreaming of playing for the Aussie women's cricket team. Majority of my junior life, there was no AFLW, so my dream was to play, put on the green and gold rather than brown and gold, and play cricket for Australia. So it was hard, and I think, you know, coming to the end of, I think it was the end of 2021, around Christmas time. I played the first half of cricket, and it really was the opportunity that the AFLW presented. I just got selected in the AFLW Academy. And with cricket, I was kind of in state squads here and there, but find it was kind of feeling like I was plateauing a bit. So to be picked in, I guess, the academy team, and also enjoying my footy so much, I guess it was a very easy decision in the end. But through the process, it was hard.
And you played with the Oakley Chargers in the NAB League at the time. How did that opportunity sort of all come about?
Yeah, I think I was a part of Oakley's under 15 and underage sides, kind of here and there, but they didn't get to really see me too much because of cricket. So I was a part of the under 18 squad, I think bottom age year, kind of just trained here and there. And then I guess in my bottom age year, Jason Davenport, the coach, and Jai Bond, the head of footy at that time, I guess saw a lot of me training, but not so in games. So I wasn't picked until I think the last round of NAB League. And no one really knew who I was except for them. So yeah, I think their support, to be fair, kind of kept me in footy, and they really told me to play cricket and choose cricket, because they would bring me in when I could play in the end. So I think, yeah, I'm very grateful for them.
And in 2021, you averaged 20 disposals and 4 tackles in the NAB League. What was that season when you did get the opportunity to play? What was that sort of like for you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a dream come true. Looking back, we had a pretty stacked team. So I was in the midfield with Rowie. We had kind of a mid forward rotation. And yeah, it was so good. I think I came into a position where the team was, I think, undefeated or had only lost one game. So I was very lucky. But yeah, I think it was awesome to just play footy at that level because it was something that I always aspired to. And then I guess to win the granny, I think for me was, yeah, that was probably one of the best days of my life, to be fair. And then going to see, Charlie Rowbottom, Book Vickers, Stella Reid, the list goes on, get drafted. I think that also inspired me to then kind of think that footy was for me, which is pretty cool.
And was there any sort of a moment where you thought I'm a chance of getting drafted here, Jazz?
Oh, I think the first time that I started thinking about it was being a part of the AFLW Academy. So getting that call, I think was the start of it where I thought, oh, this is something um, here. And I guess that made the decision of choosing footy over cricket a little bit easier. But yeah, it wasn't until probably my draft year that I really thought I was a possibility to get drafted, just because of the limited exposure that I did have. And I never really thought about it too much because of that. So yeah, it kind of came around really quick.
And which clubs interviewed you in the lead up to the 2022 draft?
I remember Vic Metro Hub, we did like a speed dating little thing where we went around and had little interviews with different clubs. And that was probably the time that I had most conversations with clubs. I think leading up to the draft, I'd say I interviewed with a handful of clubs. But yeah, it was kind of here and there. But it was great. I loved having those interviews. And I think it was something that really makes your draft year and was really exciting for me and the family.
And you were obviously a lifelong Hawthorn supporter, getting selected with the Hawks in pick two in the 2022 AFLW draft. How special was that for not just you, but your family also?
Yeah, I think when I speak about it, it just makes me so happy. I think looking back on the night, it was so special to see that like my little sister, my older brother, and mum and dad, who, along with myself, like we are mad Hawthorn supporters. We went to two of the three grannies, of the three-peat. So yeah, it honestly a dream come true, and maybe a dream that I never could really think about having because there was no AFLW. So yeah, I'm loving my time as a Hawk too. Obviously being a fan and now a player myself, I couldn't love the club more.
And in your first season, you juggled year 12 commitments with playing footy, missing one game due to exams. What was your first season sort of like juggling both?
Yeah, it was hard, and looking back on it, it's a bit of a blur. I think year 12 is, one of the biggest years of anyone's life, and then chuck in the AFLW season. I didn't really have much time to socialise. It was very much wake up, go to school, go straight to training, go home, sleep, or study. So yeah, honestly though, I think it was such a great experience, and held me in good stead for then last season. I think I grew up a whole lot during that first season. Um, Got to debut in front of 12,000 fans at Marvel Stadium against Essendon. So that was pretty special.
What was it like to, I guess, play in front of that crowd at Marvel Stadium, the club's first AFLW match as well?
Yeah, it was huge. I think obviously Essendon too, who it was their first game. And two clubs that have a rich rivalry and great histories themselves. It was great to play in front of that many people. And to be fair, before then, I don't think I've played in front of more than family and friends, maybe 100 people at games. So it was bizarre not being able to hear, what the umpire is saying or what your teammates are saying. So I think it's, yeah, obviously a step in the right direction, and I'd love to play in front of bigger crowds in the future too.
And what do you think were the biggest things that you took away from your first season in the competition?
Probably the professionalism that it takes to, I guess, be an AFLW player and, try and be the best, but also time management. I think along with year 12, I had to be very diligent, and make sure that I was getting all my homework done, while also doing extras, and trying to be the best footballer I could too. So, yeah, I'd definitely say organisation, time management.
And last year, you played all 10 matches, averaging 16 disposals, 4.3 tackles, two clearances, and one mark per game. How did you find your second season in the competition?
I felt a little bit more settled. I think having 9 games under my belt definitely helped. And then I guess last season, Batesy came into the midfield, so that added a little bit more support for myself and Till. And yeah, I really enjoyed last season. Once again, like happy to get 3 wins on the board. Would have liked a couple more, but I think it was a great developmental season for the team, and we definitely grew a lot.
And you haven't missed any matches due to injury at the Hawks so far. You're able to play so much footy. What is that sort of like?
Yeah, I think every footballer has their niggles here and there. And I'm definitely someone that has. So I think I've been very fortunate with the medical staff that we have at Hawks, both seasons and this season too. Yeah, so it takes a lot of work that you put in to prepare your body and to make sure that you're recovering. I think that's probably one of the main things coming into the AFLW, and I'm learning each year how much you have to recover to be able to get up for each game. 5-day breaks, 6-day breaks. With this year having I don't know, maybe a 4-day break even too. Yeah, really relying on recovery, sleeping well, eating well. Yeah, I think is something that's held me in good stead.
And what has it sort of been like to play alongside players like Emily Bates, Greta Bodie, and obviously this year you've seen players like Casey Sheriff and Eliza West come into the side?
Yeah, it's really cool. I think obviously growing up, they were a lot of my idols. Batesy was someone that I really look up to, in the inaugural years of the AFLW. And, Tilly has been such an inspirational leader for myself. And, the inclusions of Casey and Westy it's pretty cool. And to be able to play one game with them in the VFL and to be training with them, I guess the things you learn off them, every day. It's pretty insane. So we're very lucky to have them at the Hawks.
And obviously the big news at the end of last season was Beck Goddard departing as senior coach. How hard was that for you to sort of deal with?
Yeah, Beck was obviously the inaugural coach, and I think, as a Hawthorn person herself, really lived and breathed the Hawthorn colours, which was awesome. So I think there was a couple of teams in the similar positions last year, and I think it's the unfortunate thing about, AFLW, AFL, and business. Coaches move on. So yeah, I think looking forward now, 6 months, 7 months on, we've got a new coach and a really good game plan going towards this season.
And you were also re-signed until the end of 2027. What is it like to be at the Hawks for the long term?
Yeah, it was the easiest decision of my life. As I said before, I love this club so much as a supporter, but also as a player. It's honestly a dream come true. And, the support the club has given me and the faith, picking me at pick 2. And then, being in the leadership group myself, I see the future of this group. And yeah, I'm honestly so excited to see where this group goes.
And you finished third in the club best and fairest in both seasons. What does that sort of mean to you as well?
Yeah, I guess the individual awards probably, you don't play for them. But I guess at the end of the season, it is nice to be recognised in that way by your coaches, and I guess shows a lot of the hard work that you put in for yourself is paying off. Yeah, so it is nice.
And what are you looking forward to most about the upcoming season? Obviously, it's just over 30 days away, so not far away at all.
Yeah, I'm really excited about, I guess, a lot of our new recruits, including, new coaching staff, but also players. We had a very good draft haul with Eastern Rangers girls and also some Dandy Stingrays girls. So I'm excited to see how they go, along with Casey and Westy.
And what position are you sort of expecting to play this season? Because you have played at halfback and down forward in your draft year with the Chargers.
Definitely more of the inside mid role this year, with having conversations with the coaching staff. So I've been kind of training for that. So it'll be exciting to see, working alongside Westy and Batesy, yeah, trying to support them as best I can.
What are some of the pre-game, I guess, superstitions or rituals that you would have before a game?
I'm pretty chill, I normally say. The only thing I do is I have to be fake tans before a game. I think there's a couple of players that are exactly like that. But other than that, I just one thing that I implemented last year was going onto the field. The first thing I do is go around the whole field and bounce the footy just to get a break, but also see how the ball's bouncing. And I think, yeah, that's probably the main thing other than, my normal warm up, making sure that my skills and hands are ready. I don't really have a pre-game meal or anything that I stick by. I'm kind of go with the flow.
And you can throw those other two teammates or the other couple of teammates under the bus who would also sort of fake tan before a game at the Hawks.
I would definitely say Bridie Hitwell, Charlotte Bascarin, definitely are the fake tanners with me, but I wouldn't say there's a lot that don't, to be fair. But I guess they're the main culprits with me.
And do you sort of have a motto that you live by when you're out on the field, Jazz?
Oh, I reckon probably the main thing is what is next. I like to not get caught up with what's just happened, especially like turnover or something good has even happened. And it's making sure that, I'm staying present and making sure that I'm in the best position to help the team out. So I do like the little what is next or win. It's a little motto that David McKay from last year, our assistant coach, used to tell me.
And you're studying exercise and sports science at uni. How have you sort of found that?
Yeah, really good. I think it complements AFLW really well in terms of learning a lot about why we do a lot of high performance stuff, but also off field, on off days, having that time away from footy and learning and studying something that I enjoy. So I have found that it's been really good for me in my balance with like sport or like training and life balance.
And what are some of your other interests, I guess, outside of footy?
Oh, I love reading books at the moment. I love watching Netflix. I love hanging out with my friends. I'm a big foodie, so me and my friends love to go to different restaurants, eat food. And I do love music, so I do love going to concerts, seeing different artists perform. So yeah.
What was the most recent concert that you went to?
Most recent was Scissor. So that was pretty surreal. That was good. Went with a couple of teammates, which was awesome.
And just finally, do you, I guess, have any pump up songs before a game?
I listen to a lot of rap before games, normally Drake. Um, yeah, a lot of Drake to be fair. So if I was going to have a walkout, so it would probably be something of Drake's.
Well, thank you so much, Jazz, for joining me today and all the best of luck in the upcoming season.
Thanks for having me on, Fletch.